organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Tonight on Daily Iowan TV, Funnel Fury. See what bills are steering clear of Friday's looming legislature deadline.
Historic flooding in Louisiana causes thousands to evacuate their homes.
It's Big Ten tournament time for men's basketball. Find out how the Hawkeyes did in their first matchup.
Happy Thursday. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Cole Johnson.
And I'm Maria Palladino. Friday marks the second funnel deadline for the Iowa State Legislature. That means that only bills passed by one chamber plus a passing committee in the second chamber remain alive for law consideration.
There are a couple polarizing topics still in play. Governor Terry Branstad is pushing a 1-cent sales tax on school improvements to fund strengthening the state's water quality. Also, still on the table is the state's proposal for legalizing medical marijuana.
Bills that will not survive the deadline include the ban in the box campaign. The campaign hoped to limit employers asking about criminal backgrounds on job applications. Additionally, a push to make violence against transgendered citizens a hate crime did not warrant enough support to continue.
Iowa, will soon be home to a statewide pipeline. A permit passed in Des Moines Thursday approved passing oil through the pipeline. The Iowa Utilities Board unanimously allowed Dakota Access to pass 500,000 barrels of crude oil a day from North Dakota throughout Iowa to Illinois. The Bakken pipeline will pass through 18 Iowa counties and 1,300 parcels of land, cutting the state diagonally in half. Dakota Access says constructing the pipeline will create over $1 billion in benefits and thousands of jobs. The pipeline isn't without controversy, though. Hundreds of activists vowed to continue the fight to the decision.
Spring break often means fun in the sun for students traveling to the beach, but there is one thing they should be on the lookout for when they are returning to their hotels at night: bed bugs hiding in their sheets. Ryan Scott has more on the matter.
Spring break is almost upon us, and for many students here at the University of Iowa, this means vacation time. But whether it's South Padre or Myrtle Beach, you may not be safe from bed bugs. I spoke with Dr. Donald Lewis, a professor who studies insects at Iowa State University.
Bed bugs will survive and thrive wherever they land and wherever they have the opportunity to feed and to multiply.
These insects can be found under or around your mattress and will suck your blood in the middle of the night like a vampire. They can leave large, embarrassing bite marks that may force you to rethink your swimsuit choice. Before you settle into your hotel by the beach, use this guide to check your bed for bed bugs. I'm going to now show you how to check your bed for bed bugs. What you got to do is you got to get out either a phone with a flashlight, like I'm doing here, or just any old flashlight, and turn that on. Lift up your mattress and start checking under for them bed bugs. You'll find maybe nooks or crannies, any corners speak of any kind. No, all right. Awesome, my bed checks out. If you're still worried about any hitchhiking bed bugs in your luggage once you're back from your trip, here's a few ideas of what to do to get rid of them.
When you get home, launder everything immediately, dry it on the hottest setting that your fabrics will allow in the dryer, and check the suitcase before you store it back in the closet.
For all you spring breakers out there, good night, sleep tight, and don't let those bed bugs bite. This is Ryan Scott, Daily Iowan TV.
Iowa City is known for its nightlife, but one senior center is doing something a little out of the ordinary, hosting a barn dance. I explored how the senior center is making its monthly mark. A guitar, violin, banjo, and a little bass to make up the band, plus one caller calling the shots. And that's all this group of Iowa City residents needs for a good night out on the town.
It's basically a communal happiness. It's something that kind of takes on a life of its own. I mean, we've got people here who are, anywhere from 15 years old to about in their 70s, and it just kind of is a great communal environment for people to meet new people and just kind of have fun.
Now, before this fun could begin, they had to go through a little bit of a training session to figure out what the dance is and what it's all about.
To learn the dance, all you need to do is listen to the caller. He tells you what to do with your feet, who your partner is, and where you need to go.
Looks pretty entertaining. Too complicated for me. I don't think I'll join in.
Now, it may have been too complicated for some, but just after a few quick lessons, the group made a few new friends and shared the things they learned.
The center will be having another dance at the end of the month.
In an unusual twist, police in northeast Iowa are investigating a robbery a little closer to home. Authorities say someone broke into a Marmac Police Department and stole guns. Marmac Unified Police Department Chief Jason Bogdanovich says the guns were taken sometime between February 8th and February 17th. That's when the police department building was being renovated. Officials won't disclose the number of guns stolen or any investigation details.
While the picturesque weather has been nearly perfect this week in Iowa City, torrential rain and heavy flooding in Louisiana have taken a toll on the area.
Zhao Li standing by in the weather studio. Hi Zhao, what more can you tell us about this rain in Louisiana?
Well guys, it's a disaster of over 18 inches of rain soaked the area since Tuesday. 3 people have died and over 1,000 people had to evacuate their homes. The National Guard was sent in to get as many people out as possible. These drone pictures come from Bossier County, Louisiana. It is one of the 14 parishes that have declared as a state of emergency. 3,500 homes were evacuated in the Bossier County after fear that the local levee overflow or gave way. Workers are using rafts, canoes, and special trucks to get as many people out as possible. As you mentioned, Cole, Iowa City has locked quite differently. And the good news, if you're sticking around Iowa City for the spring break, it should continue. Friday morning will start off with a warm 42 degrees. Moving into the afternoon, the temperature will rise up to 59 degrees. And later in the night, the temps will slowly drop down to 64 degrees. Take a look at the rest of the week. Saturday, there will be a 30% chance of rain with a high temperature of 62 and a low of 52. Sunday will be about the same temperature, but be ready for the rain. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will all be cloudy with the temps in the mid-60 range. Those stay in Iowa City should relish the beautiful weather ahead, and let's hope the weather at your spring break destination is just as great.
Daylight savings time is poised to begin this weekend, and New England lawmakers are using this seasonal event to propose changes to our clocks. Some Rhode Island politicians want to lead New England, New York, and New Jersey in seceding from the Eastern time zone. They wish to join forces with Nova Scotia and Puerto Rico in the Atlantic time zone. This would switch the region to summertime hours permanently and would force school children to attend wintertime classes in the dark. Opponents of the clock changes say the time differences lead to more accidents, heart attacks, and does not save any electricity. Congress and the U.S. Department of Transportation have to approve a move to a new time zone. Lawmakers in both Massachusetts and Rhode Island proposing the idea believe it is nothing more than a pipe dream.
California lawmakers voted Thursday to raise the legal smoking age from 18 to 21. Although dozens of cities, including New York and San Francisco, have passed their own laws about putting tobaccos out of the reach of most teenagers, only Hawaii has adopted the higher age limit statewide.
According to data from the U.S. Surgeon General, the vast majority of smokers start smoking before they're 18, making it illegal for high school students to purchase tobacco either for themselves or for their underage friends. Will make it harder for teens to get the products. Iowa basketball's furious fourth quarter comeback against Illinois was not enough this afternoon in Indianapolis.
Thursday's loss makes it the third straight season Iowa is one and done in the conference tournament. For more on the state of Hawkeye hoops, let's toss it over to Jordan Maloney in the sports studio.
Thanks, guys. That's right. As if Iowa men's basketball season hasn't been entertaining enough, it's about to get even more exciting. If there's one thing March is known for, it's college basketball. But before the chaos of March Madness gets started, first, it's conference tournament time, and there'll be plenty of eyes on the Big Ten tournament. With 6 Big Ten teams in the USA Top 25 poll, there's at least 6 reasons for teams across the nation to pay attention to the Big Ten tournament. Minnesota, Rutgers, and Northwestern were all knocked out before the Hawkeyes faced their first opponent in Illinois. But before we get to the tournament highlights, we took a look at the guy who made Hawkeye fans hold up U's in the stand. Jared Utoff has been attracting national attention, and for a good reason. Basketball reporter Katie Reber tells us more about number 20.
No matter where Where you're watching an Iowa men's basketball game, you will hear about Jared Utoff a few times.
He has been somebody that, I mean, no matter whether you're watching ESPN or CBS, any of the stations are talking about him in the National Player of the Year race, the Big Ten Player of the Year race.
Iowa's star forward became the fourth player from a major conference in the last 10 years to post 29 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and 3 blocks in a game after his stellar performance at Michigan.
Jared's one of the leaders on this team, and when he's hitting shots like that, when he's playing the way he did play in that one, it helps a lot, and his confidence brings confidence throughout everyone on the team.
As the only player from a major conference with over 550 points, 190 rebounds, and 80-plus blocks, Utoff impacts the game and his teammates.
To watch him, get what he deserves, that's a blessing to him.
After scoring 20-plus points 14 times this season, Utoff was named a unanimous selection to the Big Ten first team by both conference head coaches and media, while also being named to the 5-player all-defensive team by the coaches.
To see this come out, this outcome, for him to be such a team guy, I'm really happy to be playing aside him.
And Jared has been just as productive off the court, as he was also named the 2015-16 Academic All-American of the Year for Division I men's basketball.
To see what Jared has done. It's one thing to be a first-team Academic All-American, but to be the Academic All-American of the Year, and for our school to have both the men and the women Academic All-American of the Year is pretty impressive. It's easy to see why they're having success on the court, because they just take care of their business.
And Jared Utoff wanted to take care of his business in black and gold, something his coach won't forget.
You have a guy that paid his own way to come here. I'll never forget that. He wanted to be a Hawk. He came here.
I'm Katie Reber, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Utoff's stats are impressive to say the least, and he is one of only 2 players in the nation averaging 2 blocks and 2 3-pointers in a season in the last 20 years. Jared Utoff contributed 21 points in the Hawkeyes' first matchup of the Big Ten tournament earlier this afternoon. Iowa went toe-to-toe against the Fighting Illini, and it came down to the final seconds of the game. While Peter Jok hit 29 points before fouling out, the shots just weren't falling as easily for the rest of the team. The Hawkeyes tied it up with 1 minute and 20 seconds to go, but in the end, Iowa would come up just short with a final score of Illinois 68, Iowa 66. Taylor Brooks was courtside in Indianapolis for the tight matchup.
The Thursday of the Big Ten tournament for the Iowa men's basketball team seems to be a curse after losing 3 straight years. As for this year, Illinois not only outworked Iowa offensively and defensively, but they seem to have had an identity crisis, as Jared Utoff and Peter Jok scored 50 of Iowa's 66 points. Heading into the NCAA tournament, there is one thing for sure. This team needs to find themselves again.
It was disappointing, to say the least.
Happens every game when we get down. We come back, we're going to keep fighting, and unfortunately we came up short.
I thought we played together. We played well at Michigan. I thought we were our old self, clicking. I just didn't think we came out with the amount of energy we needed to win this game.
We're not dialed in on defense like we did in the beginning of the season as a team. So we definitely need to pick that up when we start the NCAA tournament. So
we'll get back on track. I mean, you can't if you're not ready to play in the NCAA tournament. I think there's something wrong with you. We'll be ready to go, and it starts tomorrow. We'll get back to work and start getting better every day.
Take this time and get our minds right. That's what it's going to be. Take care of our body and get our minds right.
Start of the season starts in the NCAA tournament.
There was no doubt in the locker room that this team can't turn things around and be exactly who they were 2 months ago. Reporting inside the Bankers Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Taylor Brooks, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
Thanks for that, Taylor. Bankers Life Fieldhouse seemed like an exciting place to be, but maybe not necessarily for Hawkeye fans. We will keep you updated on where Iowa basketball goes from here, as all teams are 0-0 entering the NCAA tournament. But that's all for tonight in sports. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
That's a wrap on tonight's Daily Iowan TV.
Keep up on all the latest news on our website, dailyiowan.com. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Maria Palladino.
And I'm Cole Johnson. Have a fun spring break, Iowa City.